Here at Toy Gains, if you've been following the channel, you know I always say price point is king. So for example, when I got this little Mega Man figure for 20 bucks, it feels better than it is, even though it's a really good figure. Now, had I paid $35, $40 for this figure, would it feel as good? Maybe, but still, there's something about getting a figure for a really good price, and when it's good at that price, it makes it better. And today we're going to talk about two of McFarlane's best figures to date for the price point. Now, they're not $20, they were like $22 or something strange, but totally worth it. Sit back, relax, and watch a new Toy Gains. Hey! Oh! Toy Gains! Toy Gains! I'm not being hyperbolic. This is a $22 action figure. And I know what some of you sticklers are going to say, oh, it's not all black, it has gray in it. I actually like the contrast. If you don't, that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. I like the contrast. I like that it's not solid black. I know it's not faithful to the film. The head sculpt is really good. I will bring in a NECA one when NECA started getting on top of their game with stuff. And you will see that NECA figure was $30-something when it came out, $35. He does come with a flight stand. In the card, you know that. This wired cloth cape has a really weighty, nice material. It doesn't have a big, heavy stitch line. It's the same thing you would get with a Mezco figure or a NECA figure that was on Strongheart. It looks really good. A wired freaking cape at retail on a superhero figure is so freaking cool. I thought he would do this when we saw the Dune figures, and I made that prediction that it's going to come to DC Multiverse, and here we are. My only gripe, doesn't have accessories, doesn't have fisted hands. He has regular pointy hands. So what you would need to do is have the original Bale from the Build-A-Figure Banewave. And that will give you the grappling gun. Very silly omission. I can't really forgive that. Don't know why. Maybe he's just assuming you have this figure. I don't know. Maybe it's they forgot, an oversight. There's always something with these damn companies, isn't there? There really is. But for 22 bucks, you are not getting a better freaking movie Batman figure. You're not. I don't care what argument you give me in the comments. I'm not going to agree. Usually, I'll if someone gives me an argument, if someone has a good point, I'll stray from my opinion and be like, all right, you got me there. That holds true. I can't. There's nothing to argue about here. It's a really good sculpt, a really popular rendition of Batman with a cloth cape for 22 bucks. Now, doesn't have the gun accessory. You got me there. Let's see how he stacks up with the previous one and the Bale from Batman Begins from NECA. Okay, so these figures are the McFarlane. They're essentially the same, aside from the cloth cape and the accessory grappling gun. Here's the Bale from Batman Begins from NECA, who kinda, the cowl's kind of funky, but in the movie things were funky. Remember, he wanted to move his neck. But it's cool now that I have a figure from both films. This is a 7-year-old, maybe 10 years old. So, I mean, obviously I can't take too many points away from NECA for this figure. I mean, it is great. My point is the price point. I think when this came out, it was $30. And that's 7, 8, 9 years ago. You know what I mean? So to get this figure today for $22 is just freaking... listen, if you're going to give Jada Toys all the credit in the world for the Street Fighter figures being a good price point, you got to give credit where credit is due here. This is a really good figure at the price point. Let's have some close-ups of that head sculpt. Like I said, I think it's fantastic. And now let's move on to Anne Hathaway, Catwoman.
I got it.
Now the Platinum Edition Hathaway Catwoman, this is obviously not the one that came with the bike. There is some nice texture in the suit. I like these little subtle wrinkles. She's a little lanky in the arms, as you can see there. She doesn't have obviously not a cloth wired cape, but she does have like reaching out hands, the fisted hands, a hand to hold like the necklace she stole. She comes with the mask that Bane broke. So if you have the Bane, he is now complete with an accessory that was pretty vital. It's too glossy though. You need to hit it with a matte. It's cracked in the right places. Pretty cool. She's not packing that booty like the Arkham Asylum Catwoman, but overall, it's a nice looking figure. The matte that goes into the gloss of the boots is done really well. I think this is a really good face. A really good face for for McFarlane. He punched in the paint. My only issue with that Wonder Woman is the paint isn't messy. It's kind of like spotty. It's not very clear. And we know that McFarlane doesn't really nail human faces unless they wear masks, like Batman has half a mask on, but this is almost a full face. You know, it is covered around the eyes. This is a really good Anne Hathaway head sculpt. Might be one of his best. Listen, this wave altogether is very striking, very nice now. And I'm very pumped that you can hear it in my voice. I'm just staring at her face. It's very nicely done. If this could be the way we're going to go moving forward with female faces and McFarlane figures, very nice. But, you know, McFarlane, much as I love him, can be up and down, but nothing is down about these two figures, especially for that $22 price point. Two fantastic releases. They sold out on BBTS in like an hour. They sold out on frickin' McFarlane Toys website in like an hour. And they're short shipped to frickin' Target. That's my only issue, is finding these figures, but for the price point, they are fan-freaking-tastic. Let's get a little close-up of that head sculpt again. Let's get the whole team in here together as I'm babbling. There's the whole gang all together, and I know what you're going to say. McJoker's a little too buff. Bane's a little too tall. Harvey Dent's face sculpt isn't that great. I don't want to dwell on the things that aren't here. I'm going to dwell on the things that are here. Collectively, this is a fantastic set, especially for the price point. As always, if you can subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments. And more importantly, take care, have fun.